Okay, now in this episode we are going to learn about how to retrieve one row of data from table using Hibernate. Or here in this example I am going to show you how to use the select query in Hibernate. Using select query in Hibernate means we are not using any query language in Hibernate. Instead of, we are just working with the Pojo class objects. So how we can retrieve one row of data from a table using Hibernate? So here is our table. Our table contains two rows of data. First one is with ID 121 and second row is start with ID 125. Okay, so in our data insertion class, for getting information from the database, I'm going to create another method here. So public void get info. So again the same steps. First we have to create an object of configuration and we have to configure the Hibernate XML Hibernate configuration file using the configuration object. So I copy all these steps up to session. We need objects of configuration, session factory and session. Open session. Okay. So for selecting data from database, there is no need of transaction object. So we need the configuration object, session factory object, and finally we need the session object. So select data from database means we have to get the saved objects from the database, and from that object we have to get the properties of that object. Properties of that object means we can get the values from the table. Okay, so for receiving the value from the database, we know that in Hibernate we always working with objects. So here in this example we are going to receive some data from the database. So the data is in the form of objects, collection of objects. So for receiving the object we need an object. We need an object of object class. Object is belong to java.lang file. So I name the object as OB, and using the session object, there is a method called load method. First you have to specify the Pojo class name. Our Pojo class name is data provider. So data provider with extension class. Okay, second argument, new integer, we have to, here I'm going to plan get the second row of data. So I want to receive this data with ID 125. So here pass 125. Okay, so we got an object corresponding to the second row in the table. So that object has three properties. First one is ID, second one is name, and third one is address. We can access the properties of that object from the getter method of our Pojo class, that means in this class. So from that object you can get the data by calling the getter method like get username, get user ID, get user address, like that. Okay, so now we have to assign this object into an object of data provider. So I am going to create an object of data provider here. Data provider dp equal to ob. So these are objects. You need typecasting here, add cast to data provider. Okay, now we can get the data by using the getter method of the data provider class. So system dot out dot println name is So call the getter method of the data provider class using that object dp dot get user name. Okay, the same way we have to access the address. So address equal to get user address. Okay, one more bracket here. Okay, now we can call that method in the public static void main. So instead of insert data, insert info, I call the get info method. Okay, so now we can run the application. So go to the data insertion.java file, right click that file and run as Java application. Now go to the console. Okay, now here we got the output. Name is Rupesh RK. And address is Haripad. Okay, guys, this is how we receive data from Hibernate, data from database using Hibernate framework. So in the next episode, I will definitely solve this problem. Actually, the build session factory is deprecated. In the next episode, I will definitely give an alternative for this method.